As I said the other day, nothing completely new we got to add. Just going to keep going with percentages. So start with, go ahead and give this one a try. In a class of 30 students, 60% are girls. How many students are boys? Did a few like this yesterday. Sydney? 18 is incorrect. Try? 12's correct. So, we got to pay attention what it gives us, what it's asking us. There's a class of 30 students. That's everybody. That's a total. That's the whole. So the total or the whole, that goes on the bottom. The percentage it gives us, it says 60% are girls. But it then asks how many students are boys. It gives you something and asks for something else, you got an extra step. Usually that extra step is going to be some subtraction. So we start with the whole. That's everybody. 100% is everybody. If we take away the 60%, that's the girls. What's left is going to be the boys. So that is the percentage we want to use. We want to use the 40% with it. So then when you cross multiply and divide, like she said, we're getting 12. Any questions on that? A little bit different. So try this one. A box of 40 markers has red and black markers. There are 26 black markers. What percentage of the markers are red? Lily? 35% correct. All right, so similar type idea. We got our 100, we got our total. The difference here is they're not giving you a percentage, but they are still giving you, we got 26 black markers, and it's asking percentage of the markers that are red. So it's giving you something, asking for something else. So like before, it's got an extra step. The difference is, since it gives you a total or it gives you the number, the part, we got to subtract from the other side. If it's a percentage, we subtract from 100. If it's a non-percentage, we subtract from the total. So that gives us 14 red markers, and we're going to use that 14. And like she said, that gives us 35%. Any questions on that one? Just be aware, as you read a problem, read it carefully, because if it gives you one thing, asks you for something else, you probably got to do some subtraction. All right, let's try a different type of problem then. If 25% of a number p is 19, what is 15% of p? How many percentages are there? 2. So while it's not always that way, if you see 2 percentages, odds are good we're going to have 2 proportions. So these types of problems, we're going to have to do 2 proportions. So for our first proportion, we're going to use the first part right here. All right, so when I set up that proportion, I still got my 100. It says 25%. It says of a number P. P is a variable in this case. And it says of a number P, right? Of P. That means P is the of. Where's of go? Bottom. So I mean, really that's our blank. That's what we're trying to find to start with, but that's where P would go. It says is 19. So our 19 goes on top. So we solve just like we would. We got 19 times 100 divided by 25. And that's giving us 76. What that is that's what P equals. That's not the answer. We still got the second part, right? So with the second part, it says what is 15% of P? So I'd do a proportion again. I got a 100. It's asking about 15%. This time, it says of P, right? Well, that's what we just figured out. We figured out what P was. So that's now going to be my of. So I put in the 76 there. We got 76 times 15 divided by 100. And that's going to give me 11.4. Everybody kind of follow? Any questions on that? Yeah. 11.4 is the answer. Don't have to add anything. P equals 76. It's not asking for anything about P other than 15% of P, and that's the 11.4. These types of problems, not 100% of the time, but a lot of the times you will see a decimal, because once you go through this process twice, it's a little tough to make them with, they're both ending up as whole numbers. All right, so now y'all try this one. Instead of P, we got X, but same idea. Great, what'd you get? 34.5 is correct. All right, so the first part here, we got right there. We got our 100, it's 20%. It says of X is 23. So 23 times 100 divided by 20 gave us 115 for X. Then we do the second part. We use our answer from the first one. That's X. We got our 100. We got our 30. It says of X. So the 115 goes there. And like he said, that's 34.5. Okay? Any questions? All right, try it again then. Lacey? 30 is correct. All right, so right there, we got 30% of X is 15. Cross multiply, divide, x is 50. For the second part, now we need 60% of x. So we got 60 over 100 of x means the value we got for x goes right there. And like she said, we get 30. Any questions? Not horrible. It's just got a couple steps to it, right? That's a type of question you'll see on your test next week. You'll see one of those on your test where you got to do two of them. I've seen on a check-in, I've seen on an EOG. So definitely a good chance you see something like this again. So we'll get a little more practice with them too the next couple days. All right, so this one's a little bit different. Same idea. Certain percent of 60 is 12. So what that means, we got of 60 is 12. So for my first sentence there, this is my proportion. I'm trying to find a percentage. All right, who can give me that percentage? Ford? 20? All right, so everybody good with how we got 20%, yeah? All right, then the next part says what is the same percent of 95? So what we're doing is we're taking that percentage we got and using it again, the same percent of 95. Sari? Judah? 19's correct. All right, so it's a similar idea. The difference between the two is this one you're finding the percent and then using it again. The other one you're finding the of and using it again. Either way, it's got two parts to it. It's got two proportions we got to do. Okay? Any questions?